I would wake up scared and frustrated and angry.
Parents can identify with having a child who's sick, but thankfully most kids recover fully. But for members of one Makenzie family, when their little girl got sick, they didn't know the extent of her illness. And through their struggles, they found comfort in the words of one man. Channel 13's Dan Winters introduces us to the family and their comfort, new tonight at 6.
The biggest, baddest backyard jungle gym makes Abby the envy of every kid on the block.
Come here!
Her name at the bottom of the slide marks her territory, but right next to it is another name, a pink and purple reminder that it's always best to share.
She was a daddy's girl. She loved following me around.
Little Makenzie, Abby's twin sister, is never out of their sight, even though a couple of years ago, Abby and her mom and her dad were forced to say goodbye.
Makenzie started to trip a little bit. When she would wake up from naps, she'd be crying, and her eyes just weren't always focused.
Oh, it was nothing too scary at first, but then Andy and Kelly's doctor told them to get an expert opinion.
When we found out that it was the worst kind of brain tumor that a child could have, that was shocking, and I think pretty much then nothing was registering anymore.
If you have a child, you probably can't imagine. But through the difficult time ahead,
Granted, there's some tough days.
I would wake up scared and frustrated and angry.
Kelly and Andy, and especially Makenzie,
She was just too young to die.
would find comfort in the music of a man they'd never met. David Bailey is a renowned lyricist and guitar player. His strong connection to Des Moines makes it the ideal location to shoot the cover photo for his latest album.
I do feel kind of a cool connection that this is one of the places on this little planet that I feel like I belong.
David has lived and performed all over the world, and having survived what doctors called an incurable cancer 12 years ago, he's a walking inspiration to people like the Tanks.
It doesn't have to be an illness, but it can be a job loss or transitions. I mean, his music helps there too. I mean, it's just the calm when you're scared.
That's why it's hard for them to accept what he faces now.
I was in the kitchen and I started crying, and Abby came in and she said, "What is wrong?" And
It's pretty traumatic to feel like I was back at square one.
I feel like he's part of our family, and to know that he is fighting this again, it makes me a little bit angry.
He already feels the effects of his illness, and he'll undergo another year of chemotherapy.
I mean, there's so many people that are praying for him.
Having been through it once, I had the tools to fight it again, and so I know I'm still just at the first stage.
But David Bailey is beginning to see the impression he's left on families like the Tanks is about to come full circle.
That means more than I can even begin to explain.
In Ankeny, Dan Winters.
Then you'd know that she feels right at home.
Channel 13 News.
She's been.
David Bailey suffers from the most common and most aggressive type of brain tumor. It's called glioblastoma multiforme. It accounts for 52% of all primary brain tumor cases in Europe and North America. The chances of surviving the disease are considered very low at this time. If you'd like to help David Bailey and others suffering from brain cancer, you can attend a free will concert tomorrow night. David will perform at the First Presbyterian Church in Newton at 220 North 2nd Avenue East. His concert will begin at 7 o'clock. If you'd like more information about David and his music, we put a link to our website on ours. Just go to WHOTV.com and click on the As Seen On tab.